Welcome to Blake Street Banter, where one of us knows what the word banter means, the other two are just along for the ride. Tyler, say what's up.
Hey, hey.
And we are joined by Noah Davis. What up, big dog?
How's it going? Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for coming back on. Last time we talked, it was you just got word that you were on the 40 man, and that was a pretty fun, big deal for us. And now it's you've had the experience in the major leagues coming back, and you're still giving time to us little people down here. So I gotta appreciate that. Thank you for doing that.
Yeah, no problem. Always a good time.
Yeah. And I gotta appreciate the fact, like we just talked about it off air, but you're still rocking the Hurley hat and still rocking, keeping that Southern Cali vibe going. I see the Henley sweater on too.
Yeah, got some Travis Matthew. But yeah, can't really change it, I guess.
No, you can't. If it works, right? Um, so we just got to get right into it. The pitching ninja notoriety. Like you tweeted it out there. It was pretty funny. Not how you would expect to be pitching ninja, be first seen on pitching ninja. And he's like slowed it down. You can see your hair going through it. But like, do you remember any part of that ball going directly over your head?
Honestly, like probably 30 seconds after it happened, I had already kind of forgotten that it even happened.
Really?
Until I got home, until I got back to the hotel and went on Twitter. And then I was like, oh yeah, that did happen. And it was a lot closer than I thought, I thought that I thought me kind of jerking out of the way is what took my hat off, and then they slowed it down and looked like the ball hit the back of my hair and just
Yeah.
pulled my hat right off. Pretty crazy stuff.
Yeah, it was crazy watching it. Then the slow mo piece of it is like that actually hit his hair, and it's like, "Welcome to the big leagues, big dog." It's just, and he still went on pitched really, really well after that. So is that like one of the scariest things as a pitcher?
Yeah, we saw it get actually scary with Feltner this year,
Yeah,
and kind of see how that goes and everything. But you don't really think about it a whole lot until something close like that happens. And then it's hard to bounce back. If you don't have a lot of time to react, you're in a pretty vulnerable position when you're out there trying to make pitches, and then all of a sudden something's coming back at you at 90 plus miles an hour.
right.
So not really something you can prepare for, but it's always something that's in the back of your mind, especially when you see it happen.
Yeah, you're not going out and asking the pitching coach to dial up the pitch machine at 95 at you after you finish up your windup to see how you can react, right? That's just
No, I'm good. I just hit the ball to the guys that get paid to field it.
right, right. So you had those three starts in the majors, and then you went down with the right elbow inflammation. Pretty cool, pretty exciting. But I want to go back to the end of last season, your time in LA, just getting that first call up, getting that first taste of the big leagues. I'm assuming the family came out and was able to watch you. Just what was like that moment like for you? Just getting that first experience.
Yeah, I think it's hard to talk about my debut without talking about the previous 2 weeks before it. Getting called up and being there for about 2 weeks and not getting into a game. Just even being there, I think, allowed me to calm the nerves a little bit. See the guys that I was hanging out with outside of the field go out there and do their thing. The guys I was talking to in the clubhouse, and just get kind of accustomed to like the big league, what it's all about. So yeah, my family did end up actually making it out to LA, which was lucky for me, only about an hour away from home. So they were chasing me to Chicago, to Denver, all over the place, trying to see that debut. And then luckily at the last second, it was right in our backyard. So it worked out pretty nicely. But I thought I had myself under control and I thought I was ready, but you never really know if you're ready till you're out there. And I pitched in the seventh inning, Dodger Stadium. Probably half the fans had already left, but there's still about 30,000 people there, and it was the loudest thing I've ever heard. So heart was jumping a little bit, but I had a lot of fun out there. I remember taking some time to kind of look around and be like, wow, this is pretty insane,
Yeah.
especially being back in LA. So kind of a full circle moment there.
When that's just one of the most storied parks. Like between that, the Rockies are at Fenway right now. Yankee Stadium kind of doesn't have all the history baked into that specific spot, but like pitching in one of those for your first outing just has to be extra surreal. Not just like pitching, Coors Field is amazing, but it's not, Dodger Stadium where there's so much history, and a lot of really positive history too. You're standing on the same mound as so many Hall of Fame pitchers, so that just has to be overwhelming almost.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm pretty sure Clayton Kershaw started that game for the Dodgers. So
Yeah.
yeah, you're looking at the mound and you're like, there's Kershaw's hole and there's my hole right on the landing spot. So it's kind of weird.
Filling his in just to be petty about it.
Yeah.
I'm sure he would love that. But yeah, that's gotta be pretty cool. So would you say like that experience really set you up for getting that call this year? Like definitely understanding like what it was like to get that first start in Seattle.
Yeah, 100%. I think it translates all the way from, just going into the off season, knowing that you're a big leaguer, having a lot more confidence. Um, I mean, in my short sample on the one inning, what worked, what didn't, um, and got to watch a lot of baseball while I was there. So I went into the offseason with a pretty good idea mentally of what I needed to do, I think. And then I knew I was going to start the year in AAA. So I just had to wait my turn and see when they needed me and continue to work on the stuff that I learned the year before. And then going into that first start in Seattle, I was already way more comfortable than I would have been if it was my debut, I think. And as well as going back into a starting role, being able to go through my routine and kind of take the time that I needed to get myself ready physically and mentally, kind of see where I'm at, in that hour before the game. Feel yourself getting a little too excited. You can kind of take some deep breaths and calm down.
Right.
But yeah, the second go around, I thought, the first go around, I was like, this is all crazy. I don't know what's going on. And then this time around was like, okay, now we go. Now we go do what we're trying to do.
Well, and what was it like? Now you've had enough experience with the three starts this year to get a real reading on Bud Black and his intensity in a regular season game. Just you don't have to give us too much. Don't give us the full behind the scenes, but what is Bud Black like as an in-game manager?
I mean, he won't talk to you too much during the game while you're out there. He kind of leaves it to Daryl Scott, the pitching coach, who's checking in on you every inning. Maybe recap some of the at bats that have gone on in the previous inning, or who's coming up, or what the game plan is going to be moving forward. But I think they have a pretty good system going up there. Letting guys do their thing, but checking in, reminding them of what's important, and just trying to keep the energy up, but keep everyone relaxed. I think the dugout's done a pretty good job of that this year, especially on some of these stretches where we've been hot. So I've been able to see it all this year, kind of, and I really like the direction we're going, and I've had a great experience so far while I was up there.
That's good to hear. That's good to hear. So I mean, and going back to kind of the full clubhouse piece, like the rehab right now. So the right elbow inflammation, whatever that means. Like how did that rehab going? And then how have these last two or three starts kind of felt for you as you're working your way back?
Honestly, I'm feeling better now than I did the entire season up until I went on the injured list. I dealt with a couple of like minor back issues in spring training, and I think that kind of threw me out of my routine a little bit. And then my arm just was never in a place where I felt like I was on top of it. So I was grinding through some stuff for a little bit, and then it just got to a point where we couldn't manage it, and uh, Buddy said we were going to take a step back and get back to 100%, which I think was the right call.
Mm-hmm.
And came back, and the rehab. It's crazy how out of sync you feel after taking a week off of throwing. You got to build all the way back up pretty much. So it kind of brings you straight right back to the beginning of spring training. So go back to throwing bullpens, get into some live situations. But the rehab and everything has gone great so far. I'm feeling great. Velocity is back to a level to where I feel comfortable with it. It was kind of dipping down at the end. Um, and yeah, I'm just looking forward to getting that pitch count back up near 100 and being able to be my full self while I'm out there.
Yeah, I think we are too. We definitely need you back in purple. Just like personally, I just want to see you back in purple again. It's fun to see you all do your thing.
Gotta
What
meet up with the rest of the friends of the pod up there.
we have a few,
Yeah,
right?
it's
Yeah,
crazy now.
it's so cool seeing Coco do his thing, and we got some others knocking on the door. Chunky's got to be up there. Carl had his cup of tea. Yeah, it's fun seeing you all get in there doing that thing. Like going from talking to you right after your time in Spokane to this is just it's full circle for us too. Like it's cool watching your guys' journey, you being able to share that journey, and here we are. Um, what is that biggest difference between the minor league clubhouse and the MLB clubhouse? And not just like the guys, but like, yo, this is the major league clubhouse. Like, is Shefty Hines? Like, I see some of the stuff he makes on Instagram. Like, is that it?
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I mean, like it's been the best food I've ever eaten in my entire life. Like if every day I walked into the clubhouse, if I were going to a restaurant, it would be the best restaurant I've ever been to every single day. It's actually insane. Like he has it dialed. He's on it with all the nutrition stuff. Like everything you're eating is obviously delicious and gourmet and everything, but it's providing, the nutritional value that we need to keep going throughout 162 games. So they really make that part easy for you. And then, just in terms of like clubhouse, here we're in Tacoma and AAA, and the visiting clubhouse is pretty small, a little bit cramped. But in Denver, at least in our home clubhouse, I heard the visiting one is nice, but our home clubhouse is enormous. And you got your big locker, you got a nice office chair, TVs everywhere, gaming systems, stuff like that. So it's a pretty big jump.
It really makes you feel like you've earned earned that nod there. You're actually not the first person to mention Tacoma and as a clubhouse. I can't remember who else did it.
I'm trying. I think I was there too
I think it was
when
one
that
of the
got brought up.
former major leaguers. I can't remember.
I think it was Oberg when we talked to Oberg.
Yeah,
I think that was it.
I was gonna say Oberg or Francis. I think Oberg. Yeah. So Tacoma.
Tacoma's got a rep.
Tacoma's got a rep.
Yeah. It's not terrible, but when you're comparing everything to the big leagues, it's a little bit.
Exactly. Are you hopping on any of those sticks, those gaming systems?
Not really. Haven't really been playing much this year. I think it's probably just as much a byproduct of me being all over the map. Bouncing between teams, rehab assignments, everywhere. So it's hard to bring stuff with me. But yeah, I haven't been playing a whole lot lately.
Yeah, I don't even know what's in anymore. I just found this game on the mobile. It's Pixel Golf. You play 3 holes. It takes like 5 minutes. I just found that. It's been a good one there. All right. Final question. Then get you out of here. Go spend your night up in Tacoma. But the pop punk, we talked about it last time. I got to know, like, we talked about Mod Sun. He just released it. You were big on MGK. Did you talk to Kyle Freeland about MGK at all? Like, he's a big dude, MGK guy. And then is there anything else you're like listening to popping in?
Yeah, I never ended up really talking to him much about MGK. Tried to mostly pick his brain about how to get guys out in the big leagues because he's done a pretty
That's
good
fair.
job of it.
Right, that's fair.
But yeah, as far as my own stuff, I've actually been kind of dipping into the old school rap lately. But I kind of mix in some punk, some pop punk stuff. I listen to a lot of Neck Deep. Been listening to Rancid a lot. They just released a new album lately. That was pretty good, I thought. But yeah, kind of been all over the place with the music. So whatever's fitting the vibe these days.
Yeah. I gotta get my ears on the new Rancid. They just released that like 2 weeks ago, I think. Who's the
I was surprised at how I mean, those guys are old. They're
right?
like mid 50s probably at least. So I was surprised with how much like energy and stuff they came with. It sounded like it could have been released in early '90s, late '80s. So pretty cool.
Yeah, that's impressive in its own right. Being able to keep it that same style. That's awesome. Noah, thank you. Thank you for hanging out with us again, and keep rooting for you to get in that purple. And we always got you. Keep doing your thing, big dog.
Right on. Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah,
Thanks, man.
great talking with you, Noah.
Thank you for watching and listening. Please check out our link tree for more content.